Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial, the build-up show and starting lineup reaction. I am joined with David Moyes himself. I've just realised your name, Mike, is still David Moyes. From the other night, yeah, it stayed on there from the other night. How are you, Mike?
Yeah, great. Probably a lot better now Andy's feeling this morning.
Oh dear. So let's see who's in the chat and then we'll get straight into it. Come on, you either like it, James. Here we go. He's here. Hashtag free Ben Rama.
Free Ben Rama.
But it's the question, Mike, will you free Ben Rama?
I like him. You know that, Jake. You know that. But I don't know. I don't think he fits into this team today for this game, to be totally honest.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming on the show. There is the link. Scott, you want to come on? Whoever, you can come on if you want. So we're going Dawson and Ben Rama to score today. I'd love it. We will discuss everything in a little while, but yeah, a great day for Interpar Golf. Let's see when Scott's teeing off after the game. What will we think Moyes will do? Balbuena for Cresswell. We will discuss that very, very shortly. But we've had our first guest jump in. It's Phil. Phil, you right?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Gaffer?
Yeah, thanks. Hey, well done the other night on the quiz, by the way. Some brilliant answers, mate.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, and the shirt number. Still can't believe you got that shirt numbers one, but
that's always a toughie, isn't it?
Yeah. Everyone loves that question. I mean, everyone just like make sure you get that in there. Make sure you get that in there.
It's the best one.
Yeah, but we are an hour and 27 minutes away from kickoff. Phil, thoughts on the game? Are you getting more nervous as the game comes?
A little bit, you know. I think we're still thinking of when we played them at the first game of the season, so we don't know how we're going to play. Hopefully, if we're going to go and play like how we've done over the last few games, try not to get complacent against a small, little team like Newcastle down near the bottom. I know we've apparently got a similar sort of team to them, according to John Joe Shelby. I don't know where he's got that from.
Yeah, I know.
He's probably a bit of why he ain't playing for us.
he only wishes, but when we do say that, he always turns into a cracking player when he plays us. But let's see who is in the chat then. Afternoon, Cahill, hope you're well. It's not quite afternoon yet, Cahill. I'll get you on in a minute. But yeah, Phil is in the final of the Intertoto Cup. Jamie says, I'm excited for this game completely. Come on, Moisey, unleash Ben Rama today. But before we carry on, Cahill's come in. Cal, how are you?
Morning, whatever it is you're meant to say. I literally just woke up. I seen the message and I go, all right, I'll jump on. We were on very late with the Forge from Iron stream last night.
Yeah, yeah. But thoughts on the game then, Cal? You're confident?
I don't understand why you couldn't be confident. I know there's the typical sort of history of West Ham not being the best, and Newcastle's always a tough spot. But this isn't a normal season. This is a season where we're breaking out of that mold, and we're not being the typical West Ham mold. So I'm very confident. I'm thinking 3-1 confidently, 4-1 if we're lucky, sort of stuff. I think we're well good enough to get the 4-1.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of confident fans. Mike, I keep looking at David Moyes, but it is Mike. I'll change that in a minute. But Mike, there's a lot of confident fans, and there's a reason for them to be confident. So,
we should be. I mean, we're in the top four; they're in the bottom four. I mean,
exactly.
That's how we got to go out and play, and forget the past, which is difficult. I know, because it's stuck in there, isn't it? The Callum Wilson thing, and the bad record we got up at Newcastle. But hey, let's go out and give it a go again. I know I say it all the time, and my mate Mr. Moyes, he doesn't always set us out to start like that. But I think last night's result with Tottenham and Everton, I think that should give us take a bit of the fear factor away a little bit, and let us loose a little bit.
Yeah, completely. I mean, Phil, it was another game that went our way. It was another. There was a draw. Everton hold Spurs to a draw. There's a massive opportunity for us to go third today.
Let's just not squander it, because we've been very, very lucky with these results around all the teams around us, dropping points or whatever. So, this is where you got to capitalise on all this, all their mistakes. This is that's it. This is where we've got. I've been saying this as well recently, where we just got to keep playing for the 90 minutes, just 100%. No letting away 3 goals or 2 goals. It's starting to get on my nerves a little bit, especially as we're in that end of the coming to the end of the season now. This is make or break.
It is. Jackson, hope you well. Yeah, we are fine. We are good. But we will. So our starting lineup, there's a lot we've discussed it. Cahill, there's a lot of things Moyes can do. I mean, just to pull some up, Johnson could start. He could take Masuaku out. Ogbonna could come back. If we say providing Ogbonna's fit, what are you doing with that back 5 or back 4?
I don't think they should throw Ogbonna straight in, because if he wasn't on the bench for the last game, he obviously can't be fully fit. Like, you don't go from being injured to fully fit after a week's training. So I wouldn't even risk him. I'd have him on the bench. I'd rather see I think it'd be best to see Stufal pop into like the right centre back and have Fredericks out, because we will need that pace to counteract Alan St. Maximin. And ideally, what I'd want is a 4-2-3-1 sort of formation. Maybe Johnson left back, the 2 centre backs, and Stufal at right back, with Benrahma playing just to give him a go. But I can't see Moyes doing that. That's the thing. But whatever I'm thinking Moyes would do, I think he might throw Fredericks on because he might need to counteract that pace. We don't have a lot of pace in the back line.
No, we don't. But I mean, we have got Fredericks or Johnson to slot into that right side, Mike, which could counteract, as Cahill says, the pace of Alan St. Maximin. How much do you fear St. Maximin?
Oh, he's ripped us apart, don't you? Remember that game when we were 3-0 down and he could have scored about 5 in the first half on his own. I mean, he ripped us to pieces. I know that's going back in Pellegrini days, but, he scored a good goal last week. He looks to be back to his best again. So, we got to be careful with him. We've got to be sensible. I like Johnson as a defender, to be honest. I think Johnson, he needs to tidy up his passing but that stuff will come. Yeah. That will come. Yeah. Defensively, he's been pretty sound. So, I wouldn't worry me putting him in, but I think he's going to start Ogbonna today. I really do.
I think he will. I mean, Phil, he did it with Masuaku, didn't he? So I think if we say Fabianski, honestly, I don't know what it would do. There's so many options that you could do. If we go Fabianski in goal, if we go back 5, who are you having on the left? Masuaku?
If he's fit, I'll have him on there. If
he's Masuaku, free in the middle. What are we going for?
If Ogbonna's fit, then he's going straight in.
Ogbonna, Diop, Dawson.
Diop, definitely. Soufal, or Soufal. Fredericks, whatever. Yeah. Maybe Soufal if he's all good. Then obviously it's going to be Souček and Noble in the middle. Yeah. Then you're going to we'll have 4 nails up there with Lingard and
Bowen,
but he might play up front.
I think he'll play up front. Yeah.
So it is tricky, isn't it?
It is difficult because there's so many things he can do, but we will just have to wait and see. So there has been Cahill. There's been a little bit of worry from Noble for Noble in the midfield. He went off with kind of something wrong with his arm. It seemed after the game on social media he seemed to be moving it all right. There shouldn't be too much worry with him.
No, I think he jarred his elbow or something. I think
Yeah.
In worst case scenario, he gets an injection in it and he can play the game. But I think he'd be the type of player who'd do something like that. Lots of lads need an injection in their knee or stuff like that before going out. I think he'd have no problem taking an injection in the elbow and going out and bossing around John Joe Shelby and who else is there? Hayden maybe. Like
Mm.
Mhm.
that's the perfect midfield for someone like Noble to play against. And he's been
Yeah.
think of the midfield he's been performing against, sort of high energy ones, and now he's playing against John Joe Shelby. God, he has a proper game up from tonight now or this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mike, the midfield he's come up against the likes of Tielemans, Matinho, and as Cal said, up against John Joe Shelby today, which he always seems to try and throw a rock in our way, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
But I
But
mean, we
I
should
think
be.
Noble's been really good the last two
Yeah.
games, mate. I really do, and I think
Mm,
it probably suits him in a way. I know it sounds stupid that Rice isn't there because then he plays that deeper sitting row, and Rice and Noble don't get in each other's way because that's what happens when those two play.
yeah.
I think it suits him that he can just sit in there and he does. He's great on the ball still. You know, you give it to him and he doesn't give it away. He's got that little twist and turn. He gets himself a free kick or whatever. But he's there in the right position at the right time most of the time, as long as he doesn't get caught 2 yards the wrong side, you know, or half a yard the
Yeah.
wrong side, basically. But he's, yeah, I've really been impressed with his last two games. I thought he's done really well. So
Yeah. I've got a bit of news
I
in
like
though.
Cathal.
Can I just say we've got a bit of news in saying regarding Aaron Cresswell. Apparently apparently it's been said, I believe he is ahead of schedule but unlikely to be resting today's game, so could be back next week, which could be a massive plus. But how much do you think we're going to miss him? Do you think we'll miss him today, Phil? Aaron Cresswell?
Yeah. If we're planning on doing like 5 at the back, then yeah, we'd miss him a lot. But if it's just for the one game, I can tolerate it a little bit, you know. So, as long as he's fit, like raring to go next week, then that's good. I wouldn't want to risk him anymore and just damage whatever he did do to himself last time out.
Yeah. A couple more things have come out on Twitter. So somebody said Angelo Ogbonna is expected to make the squad, and X has put like some eye emojis and a thumbs up. So we'll have to wait and see about that. And somebody asked, "Is there any changes?" And he said, "Yes." So we're going to see changes, and we will see in about 15 minutes' time what the changes are. Whether Ogbonna will come back in. But Cahill, if Ogbonna does come back in, does that worry you in a way, or are you going to be all right with that?
I'm not particularly worried because Alan, I think online might have put it up, or I think it was online, but Alan St. Maximum averages a goal every one. It's like one goal every 7.6 something games or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Like he's not this prolific goal scorer. He might rip us to shreds, but
Yeah.
there's not much to fear with Newcastle. They're a bit of an awkward team. They are lucky enough that they scrape points out of games where they shouldn't. But
Yeah.
I think we're not that kind of team that's going to let them do that. I think we're too good, and I wouldn't have much to fear. I know Callum Wilson's typically going to get his probably his little tap in just to put his little magic against us or whatever he likes to call it. But
Yeah.
I if Ogbonna's in, I'm happy with whatever Moyes is happy with. That's the way I've really turned out to, because I trust him with so much at this stage, because he hasn't really seemed to put a foot wrong in the last good while. So I know the in-game management can change, but I trust whatever he's putting out.
Yeah. We'll take some comments and then we will focus on a couple of Newcastle players and see who you fear. Right. Jim saying a sneaky 2-0 to the Claret and Blue. It's as if we can go 4-0 up at half time. I think we can do it. If we go 3-0 up, we're in a very perilous position to chuck a couple of goals away. Would rather it stays 2-0 and goes 3-0 up and we fall apart. We fear no one. We are massive. I like it now. Here's the dedication. CB, hope you are 6:10 a.m. and that comment was made 6 minutes ago. So it's about
Impressive.
6:15. about 6:15 in Brooklyn. Morning. Hope. Well, I mean, it's 11:15 here, so it's a bit more of a reasonable time. But yeah, good work. That is dedication. Yeah. How about how about the third goal in the 94th minute? Definitely, or third goal, then quick fourth. Yeah. Yeah. Neil says, I can't believe we are worrying about Nobes' fitness. How times have changed. Yeah.
Tides
yeah,
have
it
turned.
is. Definitely. I mean, we do say, we are worrying if Noble isn't in there now, because he's just been really, really good in the last couple of games, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think
Mike.
it does help that we've got
Sorry.
no other person.
Yeah. Mike. Go on with that.
Go on.
Oh, with Noble, like I said, I think he's much better as being that holding midfielder on his own without Rice there, because they're both in the same position. He's got Souček alongside him. I mean, yeah, he's done great, but I mean, let's face it. If he was injured, where are we going then? I mean, we are in big trouble then, aren't we? Really, with Rice out.
Yeah. Phil. I mean, if he does get injured, we are getting worried. But then, I mean, Fornals was slot in the middle, and that means #free Ben Rama. He would have to be freed. I don't think he'd had. I don't think Moyes would have any other option. Phil.
I mean, unless he's really desperate, or we can chuck in Connor Coventry if he's on the bench.
Yeah.
But still, almost really unproven. Like, especially in the league. I know he's played a couple of cup games, but. Yeah, I'll be happy for now to just slot back in the centre there, because I know we can do a decent job there. But let's just hope and pray everything is all right when no one gets injured anymore.
Definitely. Agree, Neil. I think he's done a solid job. He definitely has. Neil says, I can't see them risking Oggy if he's not fully ready. We will need him more next week. I think we will. Massive game against Chelsea next week. But he's got the history of doing it. Just a couple of weeks ago, he just chucked Masuaku straight in after, 5 months out. So we will definitely see. Yes, TV. Please, no 3-2 game. Jake, he'll be freed in the 83rd minute. There we go. Yeah. I mean, that's usually what happens, isn't it, Scott? I mean, we go free Ben Rama and he gets about 10 minutes at the end. But let's focus on a bit of Newcastle then. Where is it? Callum Wilson record versus West Ham. So he's made 9 appearances against West Ham and he scored 8 goals. I mean, it's typical. He's just come back from injury, Cahill, and he's probably going to go straight back in there. And I mean, if anybody's going to score, it's going to be him, really, isn't it?
Oh, don't even get me started on that lad. Like, I really do despise Callum Wilson. Like, Glenn Murray used to score against us.
I know.
But he seemed like he'd be a nice lad you could have a pint with in a pub. Lukaku used to score against us. He was a world-class striker. Callum Wilson scores against us. He just seems like a bit of a... He's just not the soundest lad going. I'm not too fond of him now. Especially, was it a 3-3 or a 4-4 game or something that time with Bournemouth?
We were there. I was there. Yeah.
Oh god.
We were in the lead and comfortable, and then there was a dodgy decision that gave them a penalty, and I think it was 3-3.
Handball or an offside or something.
Yeah, handball. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of magic. That was the season before VAR came in or something, maybe.
It was, yeah.
And I've since that interview, I've really despised him. But the weird thing is, if that was a West Ham player saying it, you'd love it, because it's that sort of that's the sort of player you'd want on your team. But I can see him scoring, but he hasn't been he's not the old Callum Wilson anymore. He's not. I know he's always been injury prone. But since he's been getting so many of them injuries that keep him out for months at a time, he's lost his legs. He's lost his big burst of pace. He's actually sort of bulked up now. He's become more like a hold-up striker, because he's a lot stronger, because he can't do them bursts and the constant running and all. But so I'm hoping for no goals off him today, but you never know, especially the way our defense or our centre backs are. They seem to have times where they like to switch off and think about what they're getting for lunch after being 3-0 up, and then everything goes wrong.
Yeah, 17 people watching. Get your predictions in as we are 9 minutes away. Some people will like to keep their predictions until 11:30 till I give you the team news. But let's get your predictions coming in the comment section and we will read them out. But I mean, yeah, I agree with Cahill, Phil, that he keeps getting these injuries, Callum Wilson, and he is going downhill. But he's more of an impact player, but he'll always start against West Ham because he knows that he'll always score. And I mean, just that record, 9 appearances and 8 goals, it's just not him again. Typical, he's back for the West Ham game, innit?
Yeah, well, Steve Bruce will know that record. Like Eddie Howe would have known that record as well at Bournemouth. So, you know, he could be out for a whole season, but he'll just so happen to be ready to come back just to play against us, just so he can get another goal. I mean, that's a pretty decent record. I know he's like obviously not scored in every game, but 8 goals in 9 appearances against us. I don't know what the record is though with a certain player scoring the most goals against us, but he's got to be up there, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, up there with the people like, as Carl said, like Lukaku and people like that, always scored against us. We will talk about Alan St. Maximin. I've just got a couple of his stats I'm going to read off. He's played 18 games this season. He's scored just 3 goals, 4 assists. I mean, he's got to have some confidence. He scored in their game against Burnley last week to get the 2-1 win. 2 goals with his right foot, 1 with his left foot.
No Jesse Lingard.
Pardon?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
He's no Jesse Lingard, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, we haven't even discussed Jesse Lingard. But just before we do that, though, Mike, Alan St. Maximin, I mean, he did all right in the game at the start of the season, but we're a different West Ham. Do you think we've got enough, whoever we play, to combat Alan St. Maximin? To be fair, a lot of people say if we who've played Newcastle, if we keep him quiet, we keep Newcastle quiet.
They've got some attacking force, to be fair to them, but I think if we just their weaknesses are defence, and our strength is our attack at the moment. So we should go and get goals against them. Like you said, Jake, I think we're a different West Ham now from the game when we were 3-0 down in no time, and then the first game of the season. I think we're more organised at the back now. I don't think we should give him so many opportunities he usually gets against us. So let's just hope we can keep him out. And when he does get an opportunity, he doesn't score or he doesn't set one up. He is a good player, I'd love him at West Ham, to be totally honest. But sort of player. I think he'd get into a lot of teams pushing him for European places. He'd get in their sides. So
a bit more news has come out. Somebody's asked how many changes, and extra reply saying, I believe 2, unless a last minute change. There is a late injury, but it's not to be considered serious. So we could see a surprise change in there from somebody who's got a late injury, and somebody's asked, wonder if it's going to be a case of the Algerian badge for Saïd Benrahma, and it's a cross. So I don't think we will see that, but we will see. So there's going to be a late change. There's a late injury from somewhere. So we will see.
Why do we always get that? Why do we always get a late injury?
Oh dear, we will see. But yes, 7 p.m. tonight. Paul Starr is going to join us to talk about football, darts, all of that stuff with some guests at 7 o'clock tonight for a chat. So make sure you tune in for that 7 p.m. tonight. Right, score predictions. 2-1 to West Ham. Dawson 37th minute. I like it. A Dawson goal. I love a Dawson goal. Alan St. Maximin 44th minute. Benrahma 87th. I could see that. I really could. I could see them scoring just on the stroke of half time, as that seems to be our tradition. We score a couple. Scott saying we only scored 1, and then they score just before half time. Neil saying comfortable 3-1 win. Bowen and Souček to start today completely. But Cahill, do you think Newcastle fans and the Newcastle squad are fearing Jesse Lingard? They've got to be. He's got to be up there for one of the most on fire players in the Premier League, or if the most on fire player in the Premier League. Nobody wants to get near him.
Exactly, you've just said it. Like how could you not be fearing him? The lad's on fire. I know he he seems to have his like bursts of moments, and he can be quiet for some games. But that's what players like Messi do and all. Like, I'm not saying he's on level with them, but lads who are going to perform and sort of rip teams apart aren't going to be doing it all the time. They're going to get their moments, but he seems to be taking every chance he gets. He's not messing about with it. He's very clinical with his chances, and he's taking
Yeah.
chances you wouldn't even expect him to be getting. So there's no way you couldn't be fearing him, especially with the state their team's in right now. They'd have to
Yeah.
be. You wouldn't want that lad running at you. He's like,
Mm.
just,
Oh
he's
yeah,
just fast right now.
Yeah, and I mean just the whole vibe that we've got around our team, Mike, isn't it? I mean, we're a force to be reckoned with, and nobody wants to play us at the moment. And if we, this is a massive game today, because if we get a professional performance done, there's FA Cup going on this weekend, so there's only a few games this weekend, and that does involve Leicester. So Leicester don't play. I don't believe they don't play this week's game until next Thursday. So that puts the pressure on. Southampton don't play theirs till Tuesday. So we can be in that third position for put the stamp on, and then whoever Leicester have got, if they slip up, we are in firm. I mean, even pundits are now coming out and saying, we were said, oh no, they're not going to get Champions League. Of course they're not. They're West Ham. But now, people are coming round and saying, they are very, very close. And if we get the win today, I think there's going to be even more pundits, fans saying they are in with the biggest shout and it's theirs to lose.
Well, you look at the 7 games we got to play. Now, realistically, you look at them and you think we should probably win 5 of those games.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough. The other team's got to play each other and they're going to lose. There's, people like Liverpool are going to be playing Man United and whatever. People are going to drop points. I know it'd be tough to win those 5 games I'm talking about, but
yeah,
if we win 4 and get a draw, even then, I still think we've got a chance. So this is a massive chance to take the pressure off.
Yeah. Oh,
Huge
yeah, completely.
chance. I mean, I think it's been released a little bit by that draw last night because Everton, Tottenham are slowly slipping away from us, underneath at the moment. And if we get this win today, they're going to be looking at a huge gap. And if we go into third, I mean, you've got to believe. We've got to believe.
You've got to. Yeah, you definitely do. We are moments away from team news and we'll get it very, very shortly. So just the last thing, Phil, before we get the team news in, just leading off what Mike said, I feel, if we get the win today, it puts more pressure on and we're going to be in third position. Can you believe that? We're going to be in third position with 6 games to go. And if we just match what, Chelsea do and what Liverpool do, we're going to get Champions League and it's all in our hands.
Keep saying that because I can't stop smiling.
I know. Yeah, it is absolutely quality. But what we're going to do is team news is going to be very, very short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Canning Town Lane video. Please check out Canning Town Lane using the link in the description down below whilst I load up the team news, and I'll be back very, very soon. Canning Town Len is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Len does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They're absolutely fantastic and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really. The best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Len. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Len. Come on, your irons. Team news is in and I'm just loading up and there is that late minute change. King Arthur Masuaku is out and Ben Johnson comes in. So it's just loaded up. Here's a team news. Fabianski in goal. We go back five of Sufal, Dawson, Diop, Ogbonna and Johnson, Noble and Suchek in the middle, Fornows, Lingard and Bowen as the front three. On the bench, we've got Martin, Trott, Balbuena, Alves, Fredericks, Coventry, Lanzini, Yarmolenko and Ben Rama. So Yarmolenko makes the bench, Ben Rama's there, Coventry's there. So Masuaku has obviously got a little niggle. But before we go, I'm going to ask you your brief thoughts on that starting 11. Cahill, I will start with you. That man, Ogbonna, is back.
It's lovely to see him back, but looking at the team, it's looking a wee bit defensive for my liking. It's like, I don't know why, like, Ben, every time we've gone 3-0 up, the first sub has usually been Ben Johnson, and we seem to just go overly defensive. I like Ben Johnson. I think he has a lot of potential as well, but whenever we bring Ben Johnson on straight away, I think it's sort of puts us in too defensive. He definitely doesn't have the passing ability, and he doesn't have that sort of. I don't think he has that attacking wing backness to him. He doesn't have any like overlapping runs that he's not going to bring the ball up like Arthur will. I think that's put a bit of a hitch on my 4-1 plan there, but you never know. They could still work wonders. You never know. Lingard and Bowen up could bring enough attacking threat. So I could still see us winning for sure with that team. It's just I think it's a bit defensive for my likings. It's great to see Ogbonna back.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get some Newcastle team news up, but whilst I do that, Mike, thoughts on that? Do you like that defensive? What do you think?
Agree with Cavill totally that, Johnson just doesn't give that same threat down the flanks that Arthur gives us. So it does look a bit defensive, but hey, I still think that's good enough side to beat them, but I can see it being quite. I know Gary Neville said it the other day. He said there ain't going to be too much excitement in this game. Turned into a 3-2 and blah 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 against Leicester. So it was going to be a bit boring. Could be a 0-0, but I could see this action being two low blocks and just dancing around in midfield and going nowhere at times. Game.
Yeah, so some Newcastle team news. I'm going to come to you, Phil. So Newcastle's team news is Martin Dubravka, Jacob Murphy, Frederick Fernandez, Kieran Clark, Paul Dummett, Matt Ritchie, that man there, John Joe Shelby, Sean Longstaff, and then the three danger men, Miguel Almiron, Sam Maximan, and Joel Inton. So thoughts on both of those lineups, Phil, before we go?
Well, I'm not too disappointed with our lineup. I think it's as good as we can do. Good to see Ogbonna back, but with this Newcastle lineup, it's
look who's on the bench.
Too bad.
Andy Carroll makes the bench.
Carroll on the bench.
Yeah, it'd be funny to see. It'd be funny to see him score against us.
It wouldn't be funny.
if we're 4-0 up and he does it. Then that's different.
Yeah. But are you confident then seeing both of those lineups?
I'll be reasonably confident, but we'll just let the talking happen on the pitch.
Yeah, and what we have realised is Neil just pointed out Wilson actually doesn't start. I forgot about him. He's on the bench as well, and Neil just says he wants to use Wilson as an impact sub, in my opinion. So they've got. I mean, look at their bench. They've got Willock. Carroll. Wilson to come on, and our bench. Let's have a look at our bench. Attackingly, we've got. I mean, could you call Fredericks an attacking player? Lanzini, Yarmolenko, and Ben Rama. But we will see. Kickoff is 55 minutes away. So that is a team news. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, drop a like on it. Subscribe to West Ham Official if you want to. Now I'm going over to West Ham United. So check that out. The match day live, watch along, whatever you want to call it. Thank you very much to Mr. Moyes, Mike, Cahill, and Phil for coming on. Cheers. I'll be back very, very soon. Come on, you eyes, and let's hope for a win. And we'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye.